Mr. Evans, the Conservatives have pretty much shot themselves in the foot here, haven't they?
No, we shot ourselves in the head. It wasn't the foot. The campaign was going swimmingly well till we launched our manifesto. I mean, manifestos normally are full of wonderful ideas on how we're going to shape the country over the next 5 years to assist our candidates to win their constituencies, instead of which it was full of poison from beginning to end. It was mean-spirited in trying to take school lunches off youngsters. It was irrelevant in trying to bring back fox hunting, or it was a full frontal assault on our core support, which were the elderly, in telling them that they were going to lose their triple lock.
News coming in here. If you just bear with me one sec, we're just hearing that Nick Timothy has resigned. There was, of course, a lot of pressure on him and Fiona Hill, the Chiefs of Staff, following the campaign. Your reaction to that? Can Theresa May survive without them?
Yes, she can. She couldn't survive with them, and that is the absolute reality. Nick Timothy was one of the architects of this social care policy, which so derailed us. As I said, he helped introduce the social care policy, which attacked our core supporters, which were the elderly. They're the ones who tend to vote Conservative, and they actually do go out and vote. And so what we were telling them was that we were going to rob them of their winter weather payments, that the asset that was in their house was not going to be left in its entirety to their children if they had care at home, and indeed the triple lock was going to go. So the only thing that was missing from the manifesto was compulsory euthanasia for the over 70s. I mean, it was a daft and bonkers attack, and you've now given me some really good news, which I think is going to help assist Theresa May staying as Prime Minister, which I wanted to do, and that is that Nick Timothy is going to go. A lot of the blame for the social care policy, which absolutely torpedoed our campaign, lies fully square with Nick Timothy.
Should Fiona Hill go as well?
I'm not sure about Fiona Hill's involvement in that. I don't think that her fingertips were on that care policy. So I'm open-minded about that. But what I'm absolutely certain about is that those who had the involvement in that manifesto, that put in so much poison into a document that turned off so many people. Rob Wilson was absolutely right. Rob Wilson, a Member of Parliament for Reading, who's lost his seat, lost his ministerial job, he said that it is the worst manifesto he fought on in his memory. It certainly was the worst election manifesto I can ever remember in my parliamentary life. It was awful. And compare that to what Jeremy Corbyn was offering, which was he was offering free tuition fees to students. They turned out in their droves to vote for them. Free childcare for young mums and parents. They turned out to vote. It was all full of promise. Nobody cared who was paying for it. Nobody cared that there were massive black holes in their document, because we couldn't really attack that because we were too busy fighting fires that we had lit ourselves under ourselves. It takes some achievement when you start an election campaign with a 24-point lead, when you are absolutely assured, or as Tim Farron said, that we were going to coronate Theresa May as Prime Minister, that we would do a landslide victory, and we turned it into an absolute disaster, a minority government, and now we have to rely on the votes of another political party. It was an absolute disaster, and it all stems from the launch of that manifesto campaign, which derailed our own campaign. The manifesto was a complete leadweight around the feet of so many of our members of Parliament who've lost their seats, and so many of those candidates who had mortgaged 6 weeks of their lives in order to fight seats with Labour majorities of fewer than 5,000. They were assured of victory, and none of them won.
Well, we're hearing from the person that campaigned, and they have written on the website, I take responsibility for my part in the election campaign, which was an oversight of our policy programme. They've said in particular, I regret the decision not to include in the manifesto a ceiling as well as a floor in our proposal to help meet the increasing cost of social care. And he goes on to say, I would like to make clear that the bizarre media reports about my own role in the policy's inclusion are wrong. It had been the subject of many months of work within Whitehall, and it was not my personal pet project. That from Nick Timothy there. Your response to that?
Well, The fact that there was no ceiling is one thing, but people wanted to know what the ceiling was. I was demanding to know what the figure was. Oh no, we're going to go to consultation for that. As far as the winter weather payments were concerned, we couldn't tell which pensioners were going to get the winter weather payments and who was not going to get it. And so we were asking elderly people to go and vote Conservative and have trust and faith in us that they weren't the ones that were going to be hammered. And in fact, in the end, a lot of senior citizens said to me, I'm sorry, I voted Conservative all my life, but I can't bring myself to vote for you this time. I mean, the amazing thing is that we got 43% of the vote. The fact is that had we not had that manifesto, had we not hammered our own core supporters as we did in a stupid way with a poisonous manifesto, then we would have got 46 or 47% of the vote. And when it comes down to a two-horse race, as it did, when it was either Labour or it was Conservative, then I'm absolutely certain we would have actually won the general election. But the fact that the campaign was either Labour or Conservative, the Liberal Democrats didn't matter, UKIPers, which were supposed to three-quarters come to us, in the end a lot of them didn't come to the Conservative Party because of what we were doing in that manifesto.
So are you
and it
calling
meant in
on
the
Theresa
end
May to
that
resign?
we lost a lot of MPs. No, I'm not. I'm asking for a change in the style of governance. And the fact that Nick Timothy has gone is a good start. But now what we need is an assurance that the Cabinet are not going to be there as window dressing. They are senior citizens who she trusts. They must be part of the policy-making decision, not just for their own departments, but have an input throughout the whole of government. They've got to be properly consulted, and the parliamentary party have got to be properly consulted as well. There has to be a change of governance. And Nick Timothy, for most parliamentarians, they couldn't pick him out of a lineup of one person because most people don't know who he is. That has got to change, and we've got to see that the elected MPs are the ones who are properly consulted, the ones who have an input into policy, and the Cabinet are the ones who are making the decisions. This isn't a government of one person or a government of one person plus a couple of individuals who are trusted, who none of us know. There's got to be a complete change of governance, and I'm hoping that when Theresa May addresses the 1922 committee on Tuesday, she gives us that assurance that there is going to be a change of style. We can't carry on in the way that we did. It has lost us that general election, and it almost put, unbelievably, Jeremy Corbyn into number 10.
And we're just hearing that the Chief Whip is in Belfast meeting with the DUP. Do you think this is a union that could work?
Oh, absolutely. We've got a lot in common with the DUP. We are the Conservative and Unionist Party after all. We believe in the United Kingdom 100%, and also both parties believe in Brexit as well, and that's what we've got to focus on now. That's why I want Theresa May to start those negotiations in just 9 days' time and help deliver the Brexit that is going to be in the interests of all parts of the United Kingdom. We did incredibly well in Scotland when we sold the right message there, and now we've got to learn the lessons as to how we sell the right message throughout the rest of the country as well. And I believe that we're going to have a very strong working relationship with the DUP over the next several years to the next general election.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.